Welcome back, and let's continue to work on our homepage. What we need to set up now is our slider, our call to action, as well as our homepage features. But before we even get started with that, we need to discuss the Bootstrap grid. Now, a grid is something used by web designers and even print designers that helps us to structure our content in a way that makes sense, in a way that feels weighted properly across the page. In the case of Bootstrap, they're organized in a 12-column fashion, which is pretty common across the industry. So take this slider, for example. This stretches the full width of the page, and so we would consider this to stretch or to fill up a full 12 columns. Whereas our features, they each take up 1/3 of the page, so out of 12, we would anticipate that they would each take up only 4 columns. And you can imagine how this sort of math can really get fun whenever you're structuring your content across the website. Also, it should be noted that whenever we go into responsive design, we can restructure and we can tell our elements to do different things at smaller sizes, which really helps us out whenever we're structuring our user experience. So to begin structuring the rest of our page, it's good to understand Bootstrap portions in rows. So imagine that we're taking little blocks and just filling up our site. A row is anywhere that our page is filled within the full 12 columns. So our slider will start with a row and then it will end with a row. And you can kind of imagine these imaginary lines across that content. With that in mind, I'm going to open up a div with a class of hero and row. The hero class we'll use to style our content, while the row is used for Bootstrap functionality. And hero. So we always know that we're going to end the hero portion of our website right there. Alright, so now we need the code for our slider from the Bootstrap website. So we can copy that and paste that on into our page. Now in the items that I have pasted, I've actually already gone in and added our images. So we have our H3, H1, and H2. Those are the titles that I gave those images. But let's not just copy and paste. Let's actually go over so we understand this code a little bit better. Of course, we have our hero row, and then we go into our div with the ID of carousel example generic, just like we found in the example code. It has, however, a functional class, the thing that makes it run, with a class of carousel and slide. Then we have an ordered list of carousel indicators. These are the buttons or little dots that we can use to indicate where in our slideshow the user is at. That can be found at the very first, right here in the ordered list. Next, we have the wrapper for our slide. So it starts with carousel inner, and this can fit anything that we actually want to put in our carousel outside, including other HTML elements, so you can add in captions and headings, paragraph text, and more. For now, we're actually going to take all of these out since we just want those 3 marketing images. Looks good. Alright, and then we just have our image. Now, one thing I would recommend is that you add an alt tag and then also a title for your images. That's just good SEO, and it's good practice for whenever you're running a production site. Next, we have our controls, our right and left arrows that indicate to the user if they want to go left and, of course, or right. It puts the user in control, and we like that. So let's save our page and quickly run out to the browser, refresh, and it looks like we have a working carousel. This is looking good. We're almost there. We're going right down the list, getting to our finished homepage. So after our hero, we've ended this row. So it'd be good after that to start up just another row. This allows us to safely use a full 12 columns. Before we go any further, we need to discuss the ins and outs of the new Bootstrap 3.0 powered grid. It's pretty unique, and whenever you get the hang of it, it's actually really easy to use. So whenever you're ready, head on to our next video, and we'll start with the grid.